The Illinois Freedom Caucus filing articles of impeachment against Governor J.B. Pritzker. What are articles of impeachment? The definition of articles of impeachment are formal charges brought against a public official, in this case, Governor J.B. Pritzker, alleging misconduct. The purpose, they are essentially the first step in removing an official from office. Process in Illinois, a group in the House of the Representatives, here, the Illinois Freedom Caucus, drafts and files the articles. The House votes on whether the charges are valid. If approved, the case moves to the Senate, which holds a trial to determine guilt and potential removal from office. The key point, filing articles does not remove the governor immediately. It is the start of a formal legal and legislative process. Who is involved? Governor J.B. Pritzker, a Democrat, Illinois. He's the governor of Illinois. Target of the impeachment resolution. Illinois Freedom Caucus is a Republican conservative group in the Illinois House of Representatives filing the impeachment. Trump administration, Charlie Kirk context. Pritzker referenced national political tensions and violence. White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy, Stephen Miller, commented on federal efforts to dismantle violent networks. The Illinois Freedom Caucus says Pritzker engaged in conduct that incites violence, issued inflammatory statements against elected officials, citizens, and others, failed to uphold the law of Illinois as required by the state's constitution. February 19, 2025, state speech, Pritzker compared what he reviewed as authoritarian actions of the Trump administration to how Nazis dismantled a constitutional republic. It took the Nazis 1 month, 3 weeks, 2 days, 8 hours, and 40 minutes to dismantle a constitutional republic. The resolution claims this is inflammatory, though Pritzker denies calling Republicans Nazis, saying he was referencing an authoritarian behavior, not party members. I'm getting mixed up, tongue twisted, man. March 22nd, 2025 speech, Pritzker said he didn't want to wage conventional political fights, but instead said, what we really need is to become street fighters. The caucus interprets this as promoting violence. April 27, 2025, New Hampshire speech, Pritzker said these Republicans cannot know a moment of peace, again cited as evidence of incitement. Also, he said at that press conference last month, or beginning of this month, that he was taking names of all of basically Trump supporters or anybody that supports National Guard coming to Chicago. And that made me weary of my safety as well. Context of national violence. Pritzker remarks came after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, a conservative political figure. He highlighted that people fear political violence and immigration enforcement. He criticized Trump administration for fanning division instead of calming tensions. All right. Now, why I support it is I see the pattern of divisive, reckless language from Pritzker. I view it as a threat to safety and democratic norms, but they're not normal anyway, as you can see. Filing articles of impeachment is a way to hold him accountable and potentially remove him from office if the Senate finds the charges credible. I stand firmly against the U.S. Inflammatory rhetoric that divides communities and stokes fear. Governor J.B. Pritzker's pattern of dismissive, provocative statements, whether comparing political opponents to Nazis, calling for street fighters, or telling the press that Chicago didn't ask for Trump to come, demonstrates a reckless approach to leadership. We reject this type of language because it not only politicizes tragedy and fear, but also undermines the trust and safety of our citizens. Leaders are supposed to calm tensions, protect their constituents, and uphold the law, not incite division or dismiss the voices of their own communities. Chicago Fifth Red calls on all elected officials to lead with responsibility, respect, and accountability. Chicago deserves leadership that unites rather than divides and that addresses the real concerns of residents rather than stoking partisan conflict. Yes, Governor J.B. Pritzker is unqualified and should not be a governor or an elected official. First of all, he's a racist, and as we know that by that beautiful call that was recorded between him and Rod B. at the time when Rod B. was the governor. Also, he does not care about the family court system because he has money in the family court system. So he doesn't care what happens to our children, let alone he doesn't care what happens in schools either, because the more that they can control your kids, the more money that he will make, because he is the worst to ever do it, and an evil, and a person that should not be running a state, let alone anything else when it comes to people and people's livelihoods. He has a vendetta against Donald Trump. It's an ego situation, and that's really what it's about. His own family does not like him. He's a loser. He's been a loser. It sucks to be a billionaire and a loser. So I definitely understand and sympathize with his pain, because I know he's pissed off, because how are you the biggest loser, literally, and cannot take care of this state the way that it should be taken care of, because you're not qualified. You got that job because you paid for that seat, and that's just what it is. You are a DEI. You are everything. That is why we had to get rid of DEI. You are a private example of DEI as well. I applaud the Illinois Freedom Caucus for drawing up the articles of impeachment. I really hope that it goes through this time, but I really would like President Trump to stop playing with Pritzker and Brandon Johnson and Kwame Raoul, and send the feds here and start demanding these forensic audits. And you can start with the crime prevention money, because if you start with the crime prevention money, then they would have to account for all that money that's missing. And the reason why there's nothing happening in our communities with preventing crime is because it's stolen. So you have no choice but to bring in extra help. So I would start with that. Then I would start with that illegal immigration money that they done stole. And then I would start with the CTU money that hasn't been given back to CTU, but they used it to pursue all these political elections out here, like what's his name? Brandon Johnson, who is unqualified, and you need to please come arrest him as soon as possible, President Trump. Thank you.